Hello, and welcome to Caring for Me, Caring for You, a thought and a prayer for the week. I'm Greg Johnson, and I want to welcome you to this reflection time on Sunday. I always look forward to having this opportunity to share with my fellow family caregivers, because together we face many challenges. But in the world as it is today in 2025, in March 2025, there are so many actions, happenings, events, crises happening constantly, that we are constantly being barraged with enormous negativity. And not only are we experiencing it, and I think it's important for us to remember, for many of our care recipients, they too are experiencing this world of insanity. And while they may not have the ability or the cognition to be able to understand all of it and to process it, they may not be able to articulate it. They may not be able to speak. So the frustration becomes even greater. So it's at this sort of time that we need, and I know I do, to take and be still. And that's been the title of this book that I had the privilege of co-authoring with the Reverend Marion Gambardella. Peace, Be Still, Prayers and Affirmations for Family Caregivers. And we've taken various emotions, and the one that we're talking about today is belief, believing. And I'm not talking about any specific theology, but believing in love, believing in goodness, and believing and knowing that you are not alone. That is so important. This past week, I had two experiences, and I wanted to bring them together because they were very parallel. One of my friends, very brilliant, kind, loving person who is a little bit older than I am. I'm 78. He's in his 80s. And he's gone through some very difficult things recently, and all the insanity of Washington, the insanity of the things going on in the world, the enormous hatred that's being flung about, the lack of caring. And it's gotten to him without question. And on Sunday morning, he wrote an email to me. He said, I hope you're going to be in church and praying for us all. And indeed, that's where I went and was planning to go, and exactly what I wanted to do. He said, I am so afraid. I am so overwhelmed. I wake up, and the first thing I do is read a political column by a given author. And he had sent it to me. And as I wrote back to him, I said, to me, that is a recipe for a terrible day. There's a lot going on. We can't control it. We begin to wonder who can, but that's not the issue at the moment. What can we control? We can control our thoughts, what we're thinking, what we're feeling. And emotions come, feelings come, but they don't have to stay. We don't have to invite them to stay. Now, for me, every morning when I awaken, the first thing I say, half awake many times, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I don't know what's coming in the day, but this day has never been. It's never been before, and it will never be again. This is the present. And I begin to do that meditation we talked about. I look around and I say, thank you for my bedroom. Thank you for my bed. Thank you for my night's sleep. Thank you for food in the refrigerator. And I take it very slowly, saying thank you, being grateful, and remembering. And I often say it out loud. I quote Teilhard de Chardin. Remember, I am not a human being trying to have a spiritual experience. No, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. And when the horrors that are going on, the fright that is happening right now, when it feels so overwhelming, I do feel helpless. But I remember it's the human being that feels helpless, and it's humans who have created this situation. And as Einstein said, the mind that created the problem cannot solve the problem. So I go back, and you hear me say this a great deal, but as someone who does a great deal of counseling, I know what the issues are in the hearts of many people, and the fear, and people are not willing to express that. So I need to look and say, how can I be helpful? The human being were helpless, but I'm not just a human being. No, I'm a spiritual being, a child of the divine, a child of the universe, a child of God. Whatever word you want to use. And that being, that spirit, that entity is connected to the source of all. So we've got a great connection who is just waiting to be asked to help. And so I give thanks. And I don't worry about saying, this is beyond me. Give me the wisdom. Give me the love. Give me the patience. And help me remember what I can do something about and what I can't. And then comes the serenity prayer very often. So if you've been having days that are less than you want to have, pay attention to your attitudes. Pay attention to what are you focusing on. And yes, it's very easy. You can turn the television off. You can turn the Facebook off. I hope not when I'm talking to you, but you can do these sorts of things. You can listen to music. Music calms the soul. You can spend time giving thanks and reading your gratitude list. And you can spend time in prayer. Whatever type of prayer that you know, and if you don't, just a conversation, just a word, God, God, Allah, Allah, peace, peace. And when you're doing that, you're asking for that from the divine within you, and you will be blessed. Belief that you are not alone. So will you join me in this prayer entitled Belief? Yes, take a moment to be still and go within, leaving all the nonsense out here. Pray without ceasing, and it is so. Pray until every waking moment is a moment of prayer in thought, word, and deed. In everything, give thanks. Push. P-U-S-H. Pray until something happens. Push. Pray without ceasing until it brings peace and serenity. Pray until you are one with the spirit of the universe. God is ready to help. Pray without ceasing and let the thought of God, as you understand that word, be the balm for your fears, your worries, and your pain. Pray without ceasing until you find healing for your hurts, your feelings, and your emotional wounds. Pray without ceasing until doubts, fears, and insecurities vanish as you affirm God can and will solve this problem. And it is so. And as you pray, let love, peace, joy, assurance, power, clarity, and serenity flow within, so that in turn it may be given away. For as we receive, so do we give. With God we have tolerance and joy to live and let live. Yes, pray without ceasing, giving thanks always. Amen and amen. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for this time of caring for me, caring for you. And I'm going to be thinking of you as I pray this week, and I ask that you do the same for me. Let us together say onward in love and caregiving. Namaste. My friends, you are not alone. Peace, perfect peace. God bless, and I'll see you next week. Or join us Thursday for Hymns by Request. Until then, God bless and thank you.